You know, sometimes our thoughts will cripple us and get the best of us, will cause us to doubt, will stagnate us, will stop us from doing what God is calling us to do, told us to do, what our spirit is telling us to do. So I know for me, God has been telling me to do something, and I'm so big on trying to, to walk perfect with God and don't want to, disappoint him, that I allow myself to be spiritually stagnate, just stuck. I learned that I was focusing so much on others. I was like, God, I know you called me to pray for other people, but I don't want to be a disservice, Father. I don't want to pray the wrong thing. So I was coming to, get my car looked at today, and I was praying to God, and I'm like, God, I know you're calling me to pray. I know you want me to pray, Father, but I don't want to disappoint you, dear Heavenly Father. Just let me know when you want me to pray. So I drop off my car and I'm walking to Starbucks because I want to get some coffee and read my Bible. And they don't have any tables out there. I'm like, how do you not have tables? You're Starbucks. So I'm walking through the neighborhood and I go to these apartments. And I'm looking for like a playground in the park. In the apartment, so I could sit down and read. So I see this black man on his balcony. I'm like, excuse me, like, is there a playground? He's like, no, we don't have a playground here. He's like, why? I said, well, I went to Starbucks looking for somewhere to sit to read my Bible, and there's no tables. He's like, so what are you reading today? I said, well, I was going to read about the wise virgins today, and just the importance of us keeping that oil in our lamps, keeping the spirit of God, loving our neighbors, having faith. And I'm looking for somewhere to sit, and there's nowhere to sit. So we start talking, and I ask him a question because I guess he runs a ministry, right? And it was God using him because he had said, man does not need to teach you anything. I can't teach you anything. I can just reaffirm what God has already told you and put in your spirit and share with you what I've been told, but I can't teach you anything. So I was asking them a question, and I said, you do ministry. Are you confident when you do ministry? Like, do you ever get doubtful? Like, how do you feel about it? I said, because I feel like God is calling me to get on here and pray for people, but I don't want to disappoint God. I don't want to mislead his sheep. I don't want to pray the wrong thing. And he said, you know what? When I do ministry, I don't do it for the people. He said, every day I get up and I read my Bible. And if I choose to invite other people, I'm just inviting people into what I already do every day. So when he said it, it kind of clicked to me. It's like, okay, I be so focused on the people, not wanting to do wrong by the people, that I haven't allowed myself to just walk in faith, knowing that it is God who do it through me, and I do nothing in my strength. So when he said it, it clicked to me, and he gave me the parable of how God had told Jeremiah to go to some man in the Bible who was doing pottery. And he told me, the guy who was doing the pottery didn't wait till Jeremiah came to do the pottery. He was already doing the pottery because he does pottery. And God sent Jeremiah there. And it was in that moment that God opened my mind to understand what he wanted me to do. That when I get on here and I pray, because I pray, period, God will send whoever he wants to send to that prayer call and will put it on their heart to come receive prayer. I have to stop overthinking out of the purity of my heart of wanting to be right by God and not disappoint him, to walk in faith and know that if God calls me to walk in my gift of prayer, that those who are in need of prayer, he will send there. So I thank God because he has a mighty way of answering you when we pay attention to him speaking to us. And I'm also learning that we go into prayer to wait. Sometimes we're not going to get the answer right then. We live in a society where we want things immediately. We don't have the patience. But when we read our word, we see how people went to God and they prayed and they waited patiently on the Lord for him to bring them answer. So whatever that thing is that you may be overthinking, that God is calling you to do it. He knows you have a heart to get it right and you don't want to disappoint him. And he will bring it to fruition through you. So whatever that is, walk in faith and know that God is going to bring it to fruition. I pray this message help whoever it was intended for it to help. I thank God for just answering me and guiding me and just breaking chains. Sometimes the chains that we have is the chains of misunderstanding of his word. Because we go and we read the Bible and sometimes we have misunderstandings. We take it out of context. Like when it says, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. God wasn't telling you to go and take a knife and pull your eyeball out. No, that's not what he was telling us. So I just thank God how he continues to guide us. I thank God that we are his students in his classroom. I thank God that he will never mislead us, that we can come to him with any of our questions, with any of our worries, with any of our anxieties, knowing that he will lead us rightly. Well, as I always say, I love you and have a blessed day.